Hi YouTube, Tim here. I had a project last night that I wanted to do since I'm sick of getting smacked in the hand by my daughter's sword. That really hurts. I mean, just a light tap in the wrong spot can break some of your fragile finger bones, and one of them didn't feel good for a while. So, I needed a sword with a better crossguard. This should do. It's basically a bastard sword, halfway between a long sword and a short sword. On the shortish side for that. I think the blade is about 34 inches long. The whole thing is made out of 3/4 inch Schedule 40 PVC. The crossguard, all I did, flattened the ends, then I heated the center and took some tin snips and just first cut a little V and then widened it up until I could heat it and slip it over the end, which I left round. Then I flattened it after I put it on and shaped all of the surfaces, the tip and the edges of the crossguard and the pommel. Right now it feels good, it really does. I've never used a sword this big and heavy since most of the ones that I make are out of 1/2 inch PVC, but this is what I wanted, a nice blade with a broad flat surface, so that if I am going to decorate it, I was going to paint Germanic runes all along the flat side of the blade. Should look pretty cool. But what I really wanted to show was how I go ahead and glue the crossguard on. Right now I've got my low temp glue gun. And the first thing I'll usually do is just take it, knock it a tiny bit off of where I want it to be. Then I apply glue generously all throughout the top end of the surface, working relatively quickly so before it sets, and then go and knock it back to where you had it before. There we go, that's about right. And make sure you have it lined up how you want it. So now I got it back where I wanted. The glue is now basically set. So what I'm going to do is take the heat gun and just blast it to melt the glue inside of here. And I'm going to apply more glue to the top and the bottom. Once that all sets, I will clean it up, and this will be pretty darn solid and stuck in place. Now been heated throughout. The glue inside should now be rather thoroughly melted, and I'm going to go ahead and take the heat gun, or the glue gun, and apply a nice line of glue all the way along the base and the top surface. I can go and add more later, but for now that'll do. And if you see any cracks, noticeable imperfections, try and fill them up right now. That's a good time to do it. Remember, if you apply too much, it's really easy to wipe away and shape. You might notice that the hot glue doesn't look all that pretty once you apply it. It might look ridged or foggy, or maybe you touched it and you got fingerprints on it. Just hit it with the heat gun. It all goes away. And it becomes nice and glassy smooth after you do that. So I'm not too worried about how this is going to look at this point, because it can be shaped so easily afterwards. Be generous with it. You don't want this thing coming off in the middle of a duel. There we go. See? I like to use that motion top to bottom to fill in any surfaces that need filling. Okay, there it is. I'm just going to let that cool for a minute. You can even, before it's completely set, you can pack it. See, I touched it a little too soon, but just peel your thumb away like that. After a second, your thumb actually cools it off. And then you can sort of pack it in how you want. Get the right shape that you were looking for. There we go. Great. And then, like I said, it looks a little foggy. If you're concerned about that, just go ahead and hit it with the heat gun, and it'll all melt the surface and throughout, and it'll tend to flow into a nice flat, even shape. So, I hope this was a useful tutorial on how to glue a pommel. You can use this in a lot of other things that you're going to be gluing, and it's fairly straightforward. Just get your hands dirty, and since this is low temp hot glue I'm using, it doesn't even really burn and hurt, which is wonderful. So have fun.